Again, as promised, I'm throwing together a quick tutorial of how to make pet food. This particular one is just one of many different variations, of course. This one has canned salmon and canned chicken breast. I take 8 cups of white rice in my really huge, as you can see the difference, as compared to this one. Let me just move that. Sorry, I have a lot of dishes I had to deal with today. As to this, as opposed to the small one I used for the soap, of course, the detergent. Pardon me, let me just put this pan away. Sorry about the noise. And of course, making wax melts. I have a ton of wax melts made right now. So this one in particular, the first thing I do, in fact with any of them, is I put about a 1/4 cup or a 1/2 cup of oil in the pan and get the oil nice and warm. Toss the 8 cups of white rice in there. Open the cans or get the fresh ground beef out or whatever I'm going to use. And I go ahead and put it in there to brown it a little with the rice. And then I put 16 cups. I use vegetable oil, by the way. Pure vegetable oil, not homogenized. Don't use homogenized. That means it's different oils mixed. It's probably bad for you. And it's got a bunch of junk in it. Real vegetable oil. So, yeah. Let me just pause this for a second. I don't want to burn anything. Okay, so I have added, I use 2 1/4 cups of water per 1 cup of rice. Because, of course, first of all, I'm adding other items into it. I'm adding other things like the chicken and fish, which, of course, I put the juices from the cans in there, so it also flavors the rice. I put a touch of garlic powder, not much. Sometimes I use just fresh if I have enough, because that will actually help to keep them free of worms if you add it in at the very end instead of cooking it into the food. If you take some fresh minced garlic, and not much, because if you overdo it, they won't eat it. But I'd say about 4 toes, and just really mince them up to almost nothing and put them in their food as soon as it's cooled down enough where it doesn't cook the garlic. I mean, if you even just pulverize it, but that really helps to get rid of worms if they happen to have any, or prevent them. It helps to prevent fleas as well. And a lot of different things. It's just so good for them. A little onion powder, or like seriously minced to the point of mush onion. And I add a few other things, which I'm going to grab right now. I'm going to grab some veggies. I'll show you what I use for veggies. Okay, so I use these. I get them at Aldi's for 99 cents a bag. They're perfect because there's cauliflower, carrots, and broccoli. Not only some of the most healthy vegetables for cats, dogs, wolves, things like that, but also super cheap, and it's really the only ones that don't like hurt their stomach and stuff. Gotta be careful, you know. I do also get like beef livers and things like that, and thaw them out and just basically really chop them up and put them in there and let them cook into the rice as well. I get soup bones and use those so they get some nice beef food sometimes. And of course, with dogs, you can always leave the bones in there and they can really enjoy a nice treat later. So let me pause this and I'll show you what I do with the vegetables. I don't leave them whole. These are also great because you can steam them in the bag. So once it's done steaming, I put it in my chopper. I do want to show this up for spices. When it comes to like the garlic and onion powder, I literally just put a little over the top, like a thin layer over the top. That's enough. And same thing with the onion powder. Literally just a thin layer over the top, just enough to give it a little extra kick. They love it. So I'm not gonna run this thing like crazy while I have the video going because it's super loud, but I love this little chopper. I've had it forever. It just never dies on me. Praise the Lord. I also have a huge for when I'm really doing it, I have a really nice Ninja with a huge food processor as well as blender. But this works fine for just making the regular amount. And then we have a huge container we keep it in, and we just each day scoop it into a large bowl to warm up in the microwave. And that way it's not ice cold. So let me just, look, see, it's going to be loud. So let me pause this and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's the finished pulverized, chopped, minced veggies. It's perfect. I don't have I usually have both hands, of course, but I just want to show you guys. It just is so good. I love this little thing, especially since I have so much neck and shoulder damage. Plus, because even though I've been disabled, I have this spirit of tenacity, a very tenacious spirit, which is like that never give upness. And I just refuse to quit. Too legit to quit. I'm joking. So as you can see, it looks as good as something we would make for ourselves, and that's really the point. This stuff on the shelves anyway, because it is not only getting very scarce, but you need to remember that it's full of fillers and all of these horrible things, and they just kind of puff it up and add a bunch of stuff to it to make it look good. They don't really add the amount of certain ingredients they say they do most of the time. And who can afford IAMS and stuff, which really I think IAMS is not that great either from what I've understood. So when we were breeding and raising wolf hybrids, we did it this way as well, except we used more raw because they have extreme wild instincts. Oops, I forgot to put my little blade back in there. Hang on. Okay, so I've added the veggies. And I mean, in case you can afford brown rice, it is way better, or you can blend the white and brown. We literally just can't afford it. But I usually like to have a blend of brown and white rice for them. And I don't use any kind of instant rice. I don't want anything that's been processed like that, not only in my family's body, but my pets. So we use really good long grain rice or jasmine rice or something like that. We get huge bags of it, stupid cheap. That way we can just fill up our containers with our stock stuff and keep going with our life. So it looks really cool when it's done. I don't know if you guys have ever bought or seen the Beneful food in the stores and things like that. This is what it is. And it's really not that hard. You can make one of these humongous pots, like, I don't know, once a week. Well, we have 8 cats, so one of these lasts like 3 days. But for a typical household that has like 1, 2, 3 pets, small dogs or cats, this would last you a week safely. You could put half in the freezer and half in the fridge so it stays fresh even. I'll make more tutorials using the other ingredients as we go, so you guys can see, but this is your first one. And like I said, I literally just used a can of salmon and a can of chicken. Sorry about that. Chicken, breast meat chicken, and the salmon. It's fantastic. They love it. I pour the whole juice right in there so that when I'm preparing the rice in the pot first, it will literally just kind of absorb right into it, so they get plenty of good flavor. Super healthy. They love it. They clean their bowls. This is actually, they have a few pieces left tonight, which is very unusual. They're probably full, but it does fill them up. Also, you can use potatoes. I love the flaked mashed potatoes, so I don't have to go through like hours of peeling and cooking and mashing them. Any regular generic boxed flaked potatoes work great also. I'm trying to think of other things. There's other things. I'll think of them later. So I'll probably... actually, you can see the finished product there. They love it. They absolutely love their food. I'm sorry about it. It looks so gross because they have some food left in it. But you can see the finished product there, and they absolutely love it. And that's it. If you have any questions, holler at me, y'all.